Welcome to Color Me Psychic. Thanks for calling in today. Where are you calling in from?
Hi, I'm calling in from Austin.
Awesome. Welcome, Austin, Texas.
Yes.
What question do you find yourself asking over and over that you want to explore today?
A question that I keep running into with myself is I think it's why am I not doing the thing? Like I know exactly what I have to do, but also I'm wondering, is it a lack of motivation? Is it a lack of confidence? Is it a laziness? Like I call myself lazy a lot. So that's like what I blame it on. I don't know. Sometimes I feel overwhelmed, but I'm like, why am I overwhelmed? Like, I don't know. It's just like, what is holding me back? Why am I in this stuck feeling or just like this rut or constant cycle that I can't seem to get out of and actually like do the work? Yeah.
That is a great question. So I want you to think about why am I not doing the thing? And then I want you to check in with your body and see where in your body is making the most noise or has the strongest sensation.
When I think of like do the thing, like why am I not doing it? I feel it a lot in my head. Like constant like just words back and forth or thinking about where to start, what the plan is, things like that. So it feels mostly in my head.
Yeah. How would you describe the sensation? Sounds like it's like racing thoughts, but is it?
Racing thoughts and just like cloud, like just fog, literally fog. Like I don't know, numbness, like those scenes in the movies where the bomb just went off and then you hear that like loud ding and you're just like, that's how what it feels like.
Yeah, good awareness. So I want you to take that kind of racing thoughts and the fog and the numbness and the ding after the bomb goes off, and I want you to color it out onto a piece of paper. You can use any shape and color you want, and just keep coloring until it feels complete, and then let me know when you're done. So this is what you drew. Talk to me about the first thing that you colored and kind of like how and what you colored.
So the first thing that I drew was the cloud, just the little puffy circle cloud around. I drew that like once and then I felt like I needed like one more. And then I just like paused and because like I feel it like in my head. So I'm like, okay, I think of like my brain or my head and that's like the circle. But then and then I started scribbling across like diagonally, like to fill in the cloud. Um and that I kind of just felt like that fog, like that's kind of what I imagined. Then I'm like, I don't know why I had the feeling to draw eyes, like just the eyes there, but then scratch over them because they were just too bright almost. Because I chose purple, but purple was just like not like it's it was a violet purple actually. And then I was like, oh man, it looks so like shocked. And I think that's when I was like scribbled it out and then I just gave it lashes. I debated drawing just like a single line lashes, just like make it thick lashes, but it just the little I don't even know what you call that pattern, the zigzag feels right. And at first I only drew like one circle for the eyes, but after I drew the eyes and then the lashes and scribbled on top of them, I went back to do more circles like all around, and I just wanted to keep doing that. And I just wanted to continue scribbling. So then I did like the grays on the corners. That's whenever I said like I felt like using more pressure with the crayon. I just wanted to like hold it in my fist and like scratch it. But then I just kept like I'm wasting my crayon. But that's what it felt like. And then I was like, okay, this looks so gray. But then I found another crayon, but it's called and I've still drawn to it, but it's called oatmeal, which is like you can barely see it, which is again, I felt like drawing more of that cloud, but it's like slightly less gray, it's more brown. And then I just had a lot of random scribbles with the orange. And I was like, what's missing? Like I don't know what it is. Oh, I didn't even realize I drew the little mouth. I drew the little mouth after or not even a mouth, but I guess it looks like a mouth. after I drew the lashes because I just had that in my hand. And then after that, the last thing I drew were the like teardrops. Or well, now they're teardrops, but whenever I was drawing them, I said raindrops.
I
It's
love it.
crazy.
I love it. We're just gonna dive right in. I
Hmm.
love your awareness and how much intention you had in coloring everything because it's all just really amazing information for you. So for clouds have to do with what you're worrying about.
Hmm.
Gray has to do with, again, worry. And this is more of like, it's milder than anxiety, but there's still like this excessive, like kind of a fixation on something. So there's something that you're like worrying about, and you don't have to tell me what it is, but it's just something that you're worrying about that's like taking a lot of like time and attention. Let's talk about the brown or like the oatmeal line that you drew. So brown in this case has to do with feeling helpless, but it's basically like you have to act without any sort of assistance. So it
Hmm.
feels kind of like you're isolated or that you're on your own and you're trying to figure it out on your own. The next thing I'm gonna talk about are like the lines, like the gray lines that you did, like the really intense lines on the
Yeah.
corners, and then also the line that you use to color in the cloud. Lines that you use to color in the cloud. So anytime that you see something that you start from the left and work right, that's more
Hmm.
of like your masculine brain. So that's more of like your analytical brain. It's more like logistics and processes and systems and kind of like brute force to make something happen. For this specifically, it has to do with feeling uneasy about like different outcomes. Like because you don't know what the outcome is going to be, it's
Hmm.
feeling like it's kind of fueling this anxiousness and uneasiness of I feel like I'm doing this on my own. I don't know what the outcome's going to be. Like you hope that it's like good and you hope that it's like optimistic, but there's still like because of all the uncertainty, there's still a little like question mark there. And lines too, they have to do with thoughts that are like holding you back. So essentially, it's
Hmm.
just your body's way of saying, like, hey, if you can let go of whatever your expectations are around what this looks like or what you're hoping the outcome will be, it will free up a lot of like your mental space. On the outside, so that's like the in the cloud lines. But on the outside, those lines have to do with just care. Like it's showing for you, it's like I worry because I care. Like if you didn't care about it, you wouldn't worry about it. But it's also like your brain saying like, okay, this is a pattern that like you learned by watching other people like in your community and in your family and like friends, but this isn't a pattern that you need. Like you can still really deeply care about something, but you don't have to like worry about it in this way. Your body just wanting to say like I want to find like a different way to attach to this or to show that I care besides worrying.
Interesting. I do find myself a worrier. We were just talking about it at the table, my family and I, on my brother's birthday, how deep anxiety and worry just like runs in the family. And we're like, well, what do we do about it?
That's so funny. I have a friend. Well, this is also like my dad too. So both my dad and my friend, they have like this belief that like it feels like if they're not worrying about something, it kind of feels like death to them.
Oh,
It's like if I don't worry, I'm gonna die.
oh
And like I
wow.
worry because like I care and I want to be invested and they're using it as a way to like motivate them. But it
Yeah.
really just kind of wears you down. Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why we do the things we do. I mean, it gives us like it served our needs in some capacity and also with coloring too. It's like this is just information and you can choose to like pay attention to it or just ignore it. Like you're in control.
Right.
Let's look at the eyes. So eyes have to do with an openness to seeing things as they really are. Purple specifically for this has to do with constrained. It's like you're not wanting to see how worrying or holding this belief of I worry because I care is like impacting you or holding you back. But it's just your body's way of saying like, hey, if you drop your guard and you see it in for what it really is, that like answers will come and things will fall in place and you'll find a new way. Any questions? Any thoughts?
The eyes are more like, what, can you repeat that? Like being afraid to see the worry in this case?
Yeah, you're not wanting to see how much the worrying is like costing you or how much it's impacting you. Like you know it's there and it kind of feels like a friend in a way. It's
Okay.
kind of like a comfort blanket, like a weighted blanket. And it's like I don't want to take my weighted blanket away because it's like a comfort thing. So it's like your eyes not wanting to kind of acknowledge or see it.
Sounds a lot like what my therapist has said in therapy. Like when it comes to that, like feeling, it's like you're, the way that she's described it is like just being so comfortable in being uncomfortable that you almost are like, I don't know, like scared to get out of that. But I'm like, why the fuck am I? Like, I want to get out of it.
Yeah,
Like,
it's I put together like a PDF about like mental models for our brains because our brain's number one job is just to keep us alive. And a lot of that has to do with just running our bodies. Like, are we getting enough oxygen? Do we have enough glucose in our blood? Is our heart beating? Is all of our intestines and everything working properly? Are we getting enough sleep? Are we hungry? Are we like thirsty? And a lot of times when we are on the cusp of something new, our brain, in order to like be really efficient and to preserve like the nutrients it needs and our energy that it needs to keep us alive, it will say like, hey, maybe we shouldn't do this because it's just going to be metabolically taxing. So it's going to require more energy and more thought and maybe more sleep and maybe some more food and maybe some more exercise or maybe some more of this or that to help keep you balanced. A good approach or trying to start new things is to just do things in baby steps and just tell yourself like, hey brain, I hear you, but I want to make a choice. I just want to make this little choice today, and that it will be a little different, but it's going to give you kind of like those micro data points that like you're safe and that like you can still be alive and that you can listen to your body and try new things and create something new for yourself. I'll use me as an example. So in order for me to feel like balanced and regulated, because I have so much energy, I need a lot of like exercise and a lot of like body movement. But that's like the furthest thing from what I've been doing for like the past 6 months. So I want to try to get like back into exercising, but my brain is like, it's not safe for me to exercise. Because like I've
mhm.
made so many changes and it feels so metabolically taxing. But I know, and there's also some beliefs too around like if I'm truly regulated and if I'm truly like if I feel balanced, then I have an insane amount of energy. I outperform a lot of people. And there's just like in my mind, I'm like, I don't know if it's safe to stick my head above the crowd and basically like show people what's possible. So
Yeah.
I'm intentionally putting myself in different experiences to show my body that it's okay and that it's not going to be as drastic. So, for example, like twice a week, I go out on my porch and I stretch, which is more movement than I've gotten in a long time, but it's still something. Or like I started
Mhm.
walking on my walking pad more. So, just doing little things like that, I think will can help.
One of mine is also working out. Like, I'm like, I have the routine. I've worked with a trainer. I have an exercise plan. Like, and I'll be fine for like a week, 2 weeks. And then I'm like, nah, I can't, like, my brain can't get me up of my off my bed to do it. And I'm like, come on, like, life would just be so good if I took care of my health. Like, it's annoying. I get mad at myself. Like, I get mad at myself.
Maybe that's what you need to color next. Maybe it's the color like the anger towards yourself.
Yeah.
If you could like just think about the anger that you feel towards yourself and where in your body do you feel it?
Does your hands make sense? Like, I'm just like, I just want to clench my fist. Like, I'm just like I feel it here. Like, it's
You
not
want to
like,
clench them. How else would you describe the feeling in your hands?
I don't know. Like there's so much there. Like, there's too much. Like, it can't be contained. And I'm just like trying to hold it in almost. Like, almost the sensation of your nails like against your skin is like giving something, you know? But it feels
Yeah,
like something's trying to escape, it feels like.
yeah, that's great
Prob-
awareness. So just take that
mm,
sensation that you're feeling in your hands and color it out. While you color, is that okay if I
yeah.
chat to you about what the other stuff means? So tears have to do with being comfortable being your true self and just like showing up authentically. And black
Okay.
has to do with, for this specific one, it's basically showing like if you show up as yourself, like authentically, like if you are just who you are, no matter what, even if you have like this excessive care and worry, that you're gonna feel a lot more peace. I think what it's trying to get you to see is like when you have this excessive care and worry, it makes you feel like you can't be yourself or you can't be like the best version of you. And it's more of like it feels more of like a turtle energy where you try to like hide.
Yeah.
But the thing that will help is just being your authentic self. The eyelashes, so hair, just in general, it has to do with how free you feel. And this is specifically like freedom in expressing yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
zigzags are just things that need our attention. Brown
Mm-hmm.
or blue in this case means hopeful. So you really have like this optimism and the sense of like possibility. What's interesting is that with the eyes too, you're like, even in your description of it, you're like, it's too bright, like I don't want to see it. So it's like this worrying is like blocking you from seeing like all the goodness and the optimism, and you're like, shut the blinds.
Oh, why do our brains do that?
I think we're gonna find out though. The orange in this coloring, though, it
Uh-huh.
basically is just telling you to be playful. That when you're able to like be playful and be your authentic self, like that's really what's gonna help you like tone down the worry, tone down the anxiousness.
Sounds like what I've heard in therapy.
Well, this is your body telling you it, so there's
Yeah.
something with your therapist. She's sounds like you got a good one. Talk to me about this coloring.
This one, I started with a big old red circle, orange, red, red, orange. I felt like I wanted to draw the sensation that my like hands felt, like just like hold like a fist essentially, but like really I'm just holding the crayon in my fist and like
Yeah,
feeling it out and like just a circle. I wanted to almost draw a fist, but I can't draw a fist, so I'm like, okay, what's this fist? Maybe a circle. And then just I wanted to keep pushing down on that crayon so much so that I broke into like 4 different parts. And then as I'm like, pressing down on the crayon, there's like crumbs essentially of the crayon like all around. And I was like, oh, the little the little specks look just right. And then I was like, how can I create these little like specks all around basically? And then they were too light with me trying to like actually press directly down. So I was like, okay, well, that's too light. I need them to be darker. So then that's when they turned into little flicks. And then I was like, okay, the marker needs, or the crayon needs a rest. So I switched to a different orange. And then it just I was like, you know what? It can be a sun or look like a sun anyways. And then I didn't really feel orange anymore or red. So I was just like, well, what do I fill the space with? And I just thought of like hills, green, but specifically like long strokes, almost a little wave, a little squiggly. Then I was like, what goes on hills? Trees do. And I just felt like growing a tree, just a nice basic tree, even, or want to be even, because I did the four and the four. And after the tree, I drew the water because I was like, well, what's at the bottom of hills of water? But again, I wanted to really just draw like a continuous wavy line. And I just drew the fish for fun because the little fish are in the water.
I love this. There's a lot of information in here, so let's dive in. Now, what's
Mm.
interesting about this is when you were describing it, it sounded like it was heavy. Like there's just so much in my hands. Like it feels like I can't contain it. It feels like something needs to escape. I want to clench it, but it's essentially like this is everything that the worry is covering up, and the worry is covered up like all of the good stuff. So this is like just showing you what's on the other side of like taking care of yourself and of just showing up for yourself in the way that you want. And it doesn't necessarily have to be the way that other people think you should. And maybe that's where there's tension there too. But this is really just if you can show up as your authentic and playful and bubbly self, this is what you can experience. Suns essentially have to do with like starting a new experience. And this specifically means this is like all the trust, like the self-trust and the trust in kind of the how your life's playing out and the choices that you're making, and everything's kind of like led you to this point. And so it's more of like this deep kind of inner trust and also playfulness, which makes me think you just need to go out and play more. And maybe that's what you need.
Yeah, but then I feel like I play too much sometimes. Like I feel like I like maybe it's not actually playing, but like I feel like that just leads me to not do what I feel like I need to be doing, which is working.
Yeah, maybe that's where the tension is too. So one of the things that our brain does is it basically gathers all of the data points to create our mental models based off of like our family experiences or what we're seeing like our communities build. And one thing I know about like your culture is that y'all are like the hardest workers in the entire world. Like you will
I don't work
show
hard
up
enough.
you will show up if you have a broken back and still like do like insane manual labor type of a thing. Like nothing keeps like y'all down.
Yeah.
So maybe this is just a way of saying like, hey, you can still respect your culture and your heritage, but also like you're gonna be fine. My family and I have a saying, it's like our like 50% is other people's like 100%. And I have a
Yeah.
feeling like that's very similar for you too. Of like,
Yeah.
even if you just gave 50%, you're still going to basically show up and be fine.
Yeah. That's funny. It's true. I'm like, it definitely is culture related because I feel like I hear it all the time. Not doing enough, but you're like doing so much. But it's just because it's not doing it the same way that they are. That's why it looks like not enough.
Yeah. And honestly, like it all comes down to like your metabolic needs too. Like it is very real for you to feel balanced and like you can show up for yourself every day. You might need a lot of sensory input. You might need more exercise, you might need more rest, you might need more play, you might need more just alone time. It's really just trying to figure out what do you need, not what other people think you need, but what do you need in order to feel you like you can show up and give give that 50%, give that a balanced 100%.
Right. Interesting.
Basically all the little specks that are coming off of the circle, it basically is just saying like everything is being stored up. And so this is what happens when you don't get out and you don't play, or you take time to take care of yourself. It just fuels the worry and the anxiety, and it's just like a spiral. Like if you don't take the time to go out and play and do things that like fill your cup, then you worry, and then you worry about not doing that,
Mhm.
but then it's just like a spiral. So it feels like this is just like all,
Spiral.
yeah, it just wants to come out. Like it just wants to have a good time. The crazy thing is too is that the hills, so hills and grass, it all has to do with abundance. And abundance, like sure, in terms of like monetary stuff, but also just abundance of
Mhm.
time and abundance of love and abundance of happiness, like whatever abundance needs for you. But in order for you to like feel balanced and feel like abundant, it's just saying like, hey, show up and play and be your authentic self. Trees have
Okay.
to do with generational beliefs. And so that I think is tied to, we kind of talked on that a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Funny.
But what's cool about this is that like and I've seen this so many times, especially in like millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha. Once you like do something differently than it has been before, like generations before, it really helps kind of show what's possible to everyone else. And it feels insanely scary to do that because it's like you're the pioneer, like the trailblazer, and trying to show like,
Mhm.
hey, it's going to be a lot different than what you're expecting me to do or what you taught me to do, but I'm going to show you that it's possible. And that
Yeah.
does come sometimes with like feeling like you're disappointing people or other people not understanding your intentions and all of that good stuff. But just know that
Yeah.
like you trust yourself to like handle yourself like through that. Like that's a lot of where this orange is coming from. Because it's more
Right.
of like this is like your life's work and mission is to help like show other
Mhm.
people what's possible. Not just your family, but like your community, your culture, your all of that stuff.
That sounds like it tracks because I do feel like I am one of the first, if only like that's doing something different in my family. Crazy.
That's awesome. I mean, but you know it. Like this is all your stuff though. Like this is you know this like deep in your bones, but it's just like it really, and this is like something that I think everyone in their 20s goes through, is it really just feels like this crossroads of do I continue down the path that my culture and my heritage taught me to go down, or do I blaze my own trail? It doesn't mean that you're abandoning like what you learned or your
Yeah.
culture or your family, your friends, or any of that. It's just marching to the beat of your own drum and taking all the good stuff that you've learned and doing something new.
Right.
But it's hard shit.
Mhm. I know. I love the circle, but I love how it looks.
Yeah. You might want to like keep this and just like put it on your door or something, or like put it in your bedroom. The water has to do with just your comfortableness expressing emotions. The blue has to
Mm.
do with your comfort. It basically is just saying like get comfortable expressing your optimism and your hope, because that's going to be kind of like the
Okay.
current and the through line to help other people see what's
Mhm.
possible. So the green fish, green has to do with gratitude, and fish has
Oh,
to do with you learning and growing. So one of the things that are going to fuel your optimism is just being grateful and expressing gratitude for all of your new experiences. The cool thing about
oh,
three, or the number three, is essentially it's just like the number of growth and expansion, and of like perfect
Oh,
timing too.
interesting. Growth and gratitude, perfect timing. Everything has a meaning. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I love it.
The funny thing is that even in your gray coloring, you had those bits of really electric kind of colors. Well, this was so much fun to do with you. Do you have any questions or any thoughts to wrap up?
No, I felt like a little bit weepy for a tiny second there, like just emotional. It's just a lot. I feel like I'm so hard on myself.
Just take some time to
I don't want to
process
be hard on
everything.
myself. I have a drive ahead of me. I'm going to College Station, so I'll have time to think about it.
Yeah, that will be
Yeah.
some good thinking time.
But it's just interesting how that came up.
You can definitely tell your body was ready for it. Well, thank you so much for calling in today and letting me guide you through that. I interpreted both of your colorings using the color mending step-by-step guide. For all the listeners, you can scan this QR code to get your copy. If you want to be on Color Me Psychic, scan this code to schedule your reading. But we'll see you all next time.